not a Kleenex, but a paper towel. I didn't know about you all until Thursday.
Wow.
My life is in huge transition, and this has helped put difficulties I had before in perspective. I'm right now looking to go back to school, and so I called to see if there was any kind of scholarships or grants or funds for someone who's gone through what we have, and because I don't have the money to go to school. And that conversation led to finding out about all these angels sitting here. And I think one of the biggest things that I found through this is that there are so many angels here on earth. Just before I was diagnosed or became pretty sick, I was a director of admissions at a school here in Eagle, and I lost my job, and that was a huge blow because the place was something I had given my all to, maybe for the first time in my life other than my family, and worked about 60 hours a week, and loved what I did, and I lost my job, and my insurance, and then I got sick. And somehow, there have been so many angels. One of the girls at the school took me on as her service hours and has paid 5 months of my rent through fundraising. And they have supported me so much. And I thought those were all the angels. And I got to St. Luke's, and I was the opposite of Byron. Extremely alternative in my health care, extremely healthy, and that came about because I had fibromyalgia. And I always used to say, I feel so cruddy from the fibromyalgia, how will I ever know if I'm sick or if something is happening to me? So part of what happened with me, it got so far along because I didn't know what was going on. And by the time I got to treatment in the hospital, I was very, very sick. I ended up on kidney dialysis and all kinds of things. I probably had about 2 days left from what they said to me. And of course, for my alternative medicine brain, to have the doctor look at me and say, MRIs tonight, this was a Sunday night, we're starting treatment tomorrow, it's going to be brutal, the first one, the Rituxan. We're going to knock you out, we're going to take care of you as good as we can. And they did. And they were open to my alternative care as well. I told them I don't want a prognosis, I don't want numbers, I don't want any of that. I want to know what we can do, because my case is my case. And I had my friend who was an osteopath and background in Oriental medicine, and my life coach who was in Oriental medicine were right there with me. And they said, okay, so the numbers are this, but that just means your numbers got out of balance and we need to bring them back. And that's how we approached it. And funny things happened along the way too. I remember praying. I lost my mom to cancer several years ago, a different kind. And I remember praying to my mom and saying, show me a sign, because, you know, we have kids, we have lives and all these things, and show me that I'm going to be okay, or give me some comfort. And this situation that happened, I only put together in the last few days, thinking I'm still processing a lot. I'm 4 months out of treatment and I'm all clear. I'm still thinking through a lot, even having lost my job and all the things that happened prior to that. So when they sent me into the MRI, it was a complete whirlwind from you're going to be treated to here we go. And I don't remember a lot of it, and I don't know if I was already drugged up. I have shut off some things that people tell me happened. But I went into the MRI, and I had my eyes closed because I'm claustrophobic, so I can't even tell you what it was like in there. But there's all the noises and all these things going on. And in my brain, I suddenly saw, I must have been on something. I saw Snoopy on his house, and he had his goggles on, and he was shooting everything. And in my brain, I wasn't in an MRI. We were knocking all that stuff because they already said to me, we don't know yet, we hadn't done the bone marrow, but he said, by your blood counts, I'm sure that it's there, and it was. But in my mind, Snoopy was, I mean, going crazy. All the rattling noise, that's what I saw. And I realized a few days ago, I was going through some jewelry and some things of my mom's, and I forgot that Snoopy was my mom's favorite thing in the entire world. There are Snoopy watches in her jewelry box and all these things. I forgot. And the other funny thing that happened in the MRI was we went from Snoopy to, I don't know how many of you have ever seen the movie The Fisher King? Anybody seen that? And the Red Dragon and the Fisher King? Well, we went there. A tragic thing happened in the movie, and Robin Williams sees that as this red dragon that comes and scares him all the time. He has issues from what happened to him, and this red dragon is so daunting to him and scares him. I saw this red dragon, and it was doing this movement that it does in the movie, and it's very intimidating and everything, and so I kind of thought Snoopy was shooting the red dragon too. But about a day or two, once we'd started treatment, and it was as brutal as they said, and I don't remember a lot because I was so drugged up, my 13-year-old daughter came into the room and sat down next to my bed, and I brought him, he's next to my bed at home now, and set this down next to my bed. And I said, I hadn't seen her since I'd done the first treatment or anything, and I said, when did I tell you about that? And she said, what are you talking about? And I said, the red dragon. And she didn't know what I was talking about. Well, she got this when she was a little girl when we went to San Francisco and Chinatown, and the lady told her that this dragon, I don't know whether it's true, but it works for me, represents good luck and protection. So she brought it and set it next to my bed. And he's next to my bed at home now. All along the way, there have been amazing angels and things like this for me. And like I said, I'm 4 months out. I have had to get perspective from being so alternative and kind of combine things in my mind, which has been a huge step for me. I have had to learn that all the things that have happened before pale in comparison to this, and all the things that in the past I would have said I cannot stand in front of a group of people and talk to them. When Lynn asked me, I didn't hesitate. One of my alternative practitioners had said to me, you have been through so much, and now this, but what I see is, I see you encouraging other people. I see you someday standing in front of people and telling a story because that's what you're supposed to do. And I laughed and I said, I will never be able to do that. And as soon as you mentioned this, I heard him say that to me, and so here I am. And, other things too. This is me the Christmas before with my two beautiful girls. This one was going to come maybe this morning, but she couldn't get her behind out of bed. And then my last thing, I know it's been kind of long, but at the school that I worked at, there was a young man. My job was admissions and student mentoring, and there was a young man there that I have always said is an angel here on earth. He is delayed in his learning, and he came to the school because he wasn't fitting in other places and wasn't being treated really well. And we kind of wrapped our arms around him, and even though he graduated with a modified diploma and some things, I would always say to people, he is an angel here on earth. He is here showing people how they should be. That's why he's here. Last night, a friend of mine from the school came over and gave this to me, and I had not read it until last night. And I just want to read it for all of you, that he wrote this for me, and it was sitting on her desk behind some files this whole time. And this young man got through school, but he tested out extremely low on his IQ and everything, but there were other things that he gave us. And so you can tell from his writing that, you know, he wouldn't have been a regular senior, he just graduated, but this is what he said. Today I woke up and got ready for school and got some coffee. And at school I was known as Mom, just so you understand this. That's what the kids called me. As I put my green band shoes on, I am ready for school. I get in my brother's truck as he starts driving away. I start thinking about life and all my friends and best friends I have. How I am so thankful of the life God has given me. I blinked and I realized I was at school taking a test. I got done with my first class and went upstairs to get a hug from a best friend of mine. I saw Haley Jackson, who is my daughter, and she goes to the school, and asked her how Mom was doing, and she said all right, but I could hear she did not want to talk about how her mom was really doing, so I was worried about how Mom was doing. As I went downstairs, I called my dad and told him that I was worried about you, and I would tell him any news I got about you. I blinked again, and I found myself in 5th period. 5 hours later, I asked my teacher, Kim, if she had heard anything about you, and she said, yeah, she has. She told me how you are doing and said you are in intensive care and have stage 4 cancer. I'm very sorry that you are very sick, and I'll keep you in my prayers, and I know you will be strong and get better. You are strong, and you and all of us will march through this, and everything will be great.